अमृतं गमय. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Before we begin today's program, let us take a moment to know the organization behind this wonderful initiative. Disha Bharat is a not-for-profit organization that has been shaping young minds since 2005 through value-based personality development programs. Centered around the vision, know yourself, know your country, and know your culture, Disha Bharat empowers students to become responsible citizens and dedicated nation builders. Today's event is a part of My Bharat National Youth Campaign, a nationwide initiative by Disha Bharat. The campaign aims to awaken patriotism, nurture responsible citizenship, and inspire young minds to become active contributors to the future of our nation. It provides a platform where young voices can express meaningful ideas, inspire positive thought, and participate in building a stronger Bharat. Now, we will start our event in which segment that celebrates creativity, confidence, and commitment of our young participants. Every participant reflects throughout preparation and sincere desire to contribute towards our nation. Let us encourage each participant with attention and appreciation. Moving ahead, moving ahead, let let us have Mrs. Ch- Chowdhury Praveen, who will be speaking to us today about the topic Udham Singh. Udham Singh remains one of the most significant figures of India's freedom struggle, remembered for his courage, determination, and unwavering commitment to justice. His life reflects not only the spirit of resistance against colonial rule, but also deep emotions and sacrifices that shaped India towards independence. We are looking forward for her speech. The stage is yours, Praveen Chowdhury.
The current speech is going to be by Nicole Lasrado. We have our introduction now from Chinmayi.
रत्नाकर धौतपदां हिमालय किरीटिनीं ब्रह्मराजश्री रत्नाढ्यां वन्दे भारतमातरम्. I bow to the Mother India, whose feet are washed by the ocean Ratnakara, who wears Himalayas as her crown, and who is richly adorned by great sages and seers. Namaskar to all our wonderful viewers joining us online. I am Satvik L. Bharadwaj, pursuing second year basic degree in Canara College, Mangaluru, Karnataka. It is matter of immense pride and privilege to be a part of this prestigious national life program. I thank Disha
Good morning.
Bharat
I am
for
Nicole
providing
Lasrado,
me an
a
opportunity
student
to
of
be a
Dayanand
part of
Sagar
it.
College of Dental
Imagine
Sciences. Today I am going to speak about India's innovative story from ISRO to Startup India. Namaste everyone. I want to begin by asking you a simple question. What do a rocket scientist, a village farmer, and a college student with a laptop have in common? At first glance, the answer seems to be nothing. But in today's India, all three are connected by one powerful source: innovation. Innovation is no longer confined to giant laboratories or billion-dollar companies. It is happening in villages, classrooms, garages, hostels, and even on smartphones. Today, I want to take you on a journey from the launchpads of ISRO to the vibrant ecosystem of Startup India. It is a story of dreams, determination, and a nation that refused to believe that greatness belonged only to developed countries. The beginning of an extraordinary dream. Imagine India in the 1960s. We had limited resources, widespread poverty, and countless developmental challenges. Many questioned whether India should even think about space exploration. But one visionary, Dr. Vikram Sarabhai, believed something different. He famously said, "We do not have the fantasy of competing with the economically advanced nation in the exploration of the moon or the planets. But we are convinced that if we are to play a meaningful role nationally and in the community of nations, we must be second to none in the application of advanced technologies." That philosophy became the foundation of ISRO. The early days were incredibly humble. Rocket parts were transported on bicycles, satellite components were carried in bullock carts. Scientists work with passion instead of expensive infrastructure. Most people would have seen limitations, but ISRO saw possibilities. And that's where innovation truly begins. Not with abundance, but with a purpose, turning challenges into opportunities. Over the years, ISRO achieved what many thought was impossible. India built satellites that improved communication, television broadcasting, weather forecasting, disaster management, navigation, agriculture, and education. Then came one historic achievement: the Mars Orbiter mission, Mangalyaan. India became the first country to reach Mars successfully in its very first attempt. Even more astonishing, it became one of the least expensive Mars missions ever. People around the world joked that it cost less than some Hollywood movies, but behind that success was not magic. It was intelligent engineering, efficient planning, teamwork, and the courage to think differently. Innovation isn't about spending more money. Innovation is about solving bigger problems with smarter ideas. Chandrayaan, reaching for the moon. Then came another defining moment, Chandrayaan 3. When India successfully landed near the moon's south pole, history was made. The entire world watched. Millions of Indians watched with pride, children celebrated, scientists cried tears of joy. For the first time, India showed that determination can overcome repeated setbacks. Because before Chandrayaan 3 came Chandrayaan 2, the landing wasn't successful, but failure didn't stop ISRO. They studied every mistake, improved every system, worked harder, and returned stronger. That is one of the greatest lessons innovation teaches us. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is often the pathway to success. But innovation didn't stop at space. Now, let me ask another question. What happens when a country's scientists inspire its young people? Those young people begin creating solutions of their own. This is where the story shifts from ISRO to Startup India. In 2016, the Government of India launched the Startup India initiative. The vision was simple. Instead of waiting for jobs, young Indians would create jobs. Instead of depending only on established companies, they would build companies themselves. Instead of asking, "Can I get a job?" they would ask, "Can I solve a problem?" That change in mindset transformed the nation. India's startup revolution today. India is one of the world's largest startup ecosystems. Thousands of startups are working in healthcare, agriculture, education, artificial intelligence, robotics, clean energy, biotechnology, fintech, and space technology. Many began with nothing more than a simple idea. Some started in hostels, some started in garages, some started around dining tables. What they all shared was not wealth, they shared courage. Think about everyday apps we use: food delivery, digital payments, online education, telemedicine. Many of these services exist because someone identified a problem and decided to solve it. Innovation begins with curiosity. Entrepreneurship begins with action. The ISRO effect. One of the biggest reasons India's innovation ecosystem has grown is because institutions like ISRO prove that Indians can compete globally. When young people watched rockets launch into space, they stopped asking, why not America? They started asking, why not India? Today, private Indian space startups are building satellites, launch vehicles, reusable rockets, and advanced space technology. Many of these companies are led by engineers who once dreamed of working at ISRO. Now they are creating the next chapter themselves. That is how inspiration spreads. One success creates a thousand dreamers. Innovation is not only about technology. When we hear the word innovation, we usually imagine robots, satellites, or artificial intelligence. But innovation is much broader. A teacher finding a better solution to educate children is an innovator. A farmer saving water using smart irrigation is an innovator. A doctor bringing healthcare to remote villages is an innovator. A student creating an app to help classmates is an innovator. Innovation simply means making life better. It doesn't always require advanced technology. Sometimes it only requires empathy. What makes India unique? India has something extraordinary. We have diversity, thousands of languages, different cultures, different climates, different lifestyles, different challenges. And every challenge is an opportunity waiting for a solution. Because India's problems are unique, India's innovation becomes unique too. Whether it's affordable healthcare, digital payments, low cost vaccines, renewable energy, or space missions, that we have shown that innovation can be inclusive. Innovation should not benefit only a few, it should uplift millions. What can students do? Many students believe innovation begins after graduation. I disagree. Innovation begins the moment you ask, can this be done better? As students, you can read beyond textbooks, participate in hackathons, join research projects, thinking, observe problems around you, volunteer, ask questions. Never stop being curious. Remember, every successful entrepreneur was once a student. Every scientist was once a child who asked too many questions. My responsibility. The campaign is called My Bharat, My Responsibility. So, what is our responsibility? Our responsibility is not merely to admire India's achievements, our responsibility is to contribute to them. We may not all become astronauts. We may not all launch rockets. We may not all start billion-dollar companies. But each one of us can solve one problem, one village, one classroom, one hospital, one community, one innovation at a time. If every Indian chooses to improve one small thing around them, imagine the transformation of 1.4 billion people working together. Let me leave you with a single thought. The story of India is no longer just the story of an ancient civilization. It is a story of a nation boldly shaping the future. It is a story of scientists who carried rockets on bicycles. It is a story of entrepreneurs who turned ideas into global companies. It is a story of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. From ISRO's launch pads to India's startup ecosystem, one message echoes across generations. Dream fearlessly, learn continuously, innovate responsibly, because the next great Indian innovation may not come from a laboratory, it may come from a classroom, it may come from a hostel, it may come from someone sitting here today. Maybe it will come from you. Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole, for that engaging speech. What I particularly found interesting was the way you connected India's journey in space and scientific innovation with the newer culture of startups and entrepreneurship. It really shows how innovation in India is no longer limited to one particular field, but is gradually becoming part of much larger ecosystem. Miss Nicole Lastrado, who is pursuing her bachelor's of dental surgery and has recently begun her internship at Dayananda Sagar College of Dental Sciences, Bengaluru. Thank you for bringing that perspective to us. Our next speaker is Satvik L. Bharadwaj, a second year BSc student from Canada College, Mangalore, Karnataka. He is also an active NSS volunteer, contributing to social service and community initiatives. Today, he is here to talk about one of India's prominent freedom fighters and national leaders, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. The stage is all yours.
रत्नाकरधौतपदां हिमालयकिरीटिनीं ब्रह्मराजश्रीरत्नाढ्यां वन्दे भारतमातरम्. I bow to the Mother India, whose feet are washed by the ocean Ratnakara, who wears Himalayas as her crown, and who is richly adorned by great sages and seers. Namaskar to all our wonderful viewers joining us online. I am Satvik L. Bharadwaj, pursuing second year basic degree in Canada College, Mangaluru, Karnataka. It is matter of immense pride and privilege to be a part of this prestigious national life program. I thank Disha Bharat for providing me an opportunity to be a part of it. Imagine an India where people were afraid to speak. Imagine an India where asking for freedom was considered a crime. At such a time, one fearless voice thundered, "Swaraj mera janmasiddha adhikar hai aur main ise lekar rahunga." It is a great honor for me to stand before you today to speak about such one great patriot, nationalist, and courageous journalist who inspired and awakened the spirits of millions through his immortal words, "Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it." It is none other than Lokamanya Balagangadhar Tilak. Keshav Gangadhar Tilak was born on 23rd July 1856 in a Marathi Hindu Chitpavan Brahmin family in Ratnagiri, Bombay. Tilak completed his Anglo-vernacular schooling in Pune, then passed his matriculation. His mother was Parvati Bhai Gangadhar Tilak. She was a devout and a religious woman who played a significant role in his early upbringing. Though she passed away in 1866 when Tilak was just 9 years old. His father, Gangadhar Tilak, was a school teacher and Sanskrit scholar who died when Tilak was 16. From very childhood, Tilak was a brilliant student known for three qualities: intelligence, courage, and honesty. Even at very young age, he did not tolerate injustice. One day, the teacher found peanut shells scattered inside the classroom and asked everyone to admit who had eaten them. Although Tilak had not done it, the teacher punished the whole class. Tilak refused to accept punishment for something he had not done. He respectfully said, "I will never accept the punishment for a mistake I did not commit." This courage remained with him throughout his life. Then Tilak was married to Satyama Bhai when he was 16, a few months before his father's death. Tilak obtained his BA in mathematics in first class from Deccan College of Pune. In 1879, he also obtained LLB degree from Government Law College. After his education, instead of taking up the government job and have a secure life, Tilak decided to dedicate himself to the service of the nation and not to serve Britishers as slaves. Then he started to teach mathematics at a private school. But he strongly opposed the Western education system that should not merely prepare students for jobs, instead, it should prepare them to serve the nation. According to him, it was harmful for Indians' culture and its people. Why did Tilak reject a comfortable government career? Tilak, inspired by Vishnu Shastri Chipulkar, he co-founded the New English School for Secondary Education in 1880 with a few of his college friends including Gopal Ganesh Agarkar, Mahadev Ballal Ram Joshi and Vishnu Shastri Chipulkar. because he believed education not produce clerks, it should produce patriots. The success of the school led them to set up the Deccan Education Society in 1884 to create a new system of education that taught young Indians nationalist ideas through an emphasis on Indian culture. Later in 1890, Tilak left the Deccan Education Society for more openly political work. He began a mass movement towards independence by an emphasis on a religious and cultural revival. In order to enlighten the masses, Tilak took to the journalism. And in 1881, he started two newspapers, Kesari in Marathi and the Maratha in English. His pen became stronger than any other weapon. He wrote fearlessly against the British rule. Tilak strongly criticized the British government ritual acts and anti-national policies in his writings. This reminds us that freedom begins with fearless thoughts. The British government feared his words because they inspired ordinary people to become extraordinary citizens. Tilak then joined the National Congress in 1890. He opposed the moderate leaders' tolerant attitude towards the British colonial government. In subsequent years, Tilak started a novel way of organizing people by creating a common platforms through festivals. In 1894, Tilak transformed the household worshipping of Ganesha into a grand public event which was known as Sarvajanik Ganeshotsav. The celebration consisted of several days of processions, music, and food. In 1895, Tilak also began the celebration of Shivaji Jayanti, the birth anniversary of Shivaji, the founder of Maratha Empire, the great Hindu emperor. People often would celebrate Hindu and national glory and address political issues, including the patronage of Swadeshi goods. The events like the Sarvajanik Ganeshotsav and Shivaji Jayanti were used by Tilak to build a national spirit beyond the circle of educated elite, in opposition to colonial rule. During late 1896, a bubonic plague spread from Bombay to Pune, and by January 1897, it reached its epidemic proportions. The British Indian Army was brought into the deal with the emergency, and strict measures were employed to curb the plague. The government appointed a special plague officer called W.C. Rand to control the epidemic. Instead of controlling the epidemic wisely, the Rand distorted the people inhumanly, made forced entry into the private houses, evacuated the people into hospitals and quarantine camps brutally, removing and destroying personal possessions and preventing patients from entering or leaving the city. By the end of the pandemic, however, the epidemic was under control, but the measure used to curb the pandemic caused widespread resentment among the Indian public. By publishing forceful and strongly worded articles in his newspapers, Kesari and Maratha, Tilak sharply criticized the oppressive plague measures and argued that resistance to injustice was morally justified. Following this, on 22nd June 1897, Commissioner Rand and another British officer, Lieutenant Arrest, were shot and killed by the Chapekar brothers and their other associates. The British government was deeply shaken by this incident and by his provocative writings because they inspired ordinary people to become extraordinary citizens, outraged with extreme resentment and anger. Then Tilak was charged with incitement to murder and sentenced to 18 months imprisonment in 1897. When he emerged from the prison in present day Mumbai, he was revered as a martyr and a national hero. He adopted a new slogan coined by his associate Kaka: Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. These were not merely words, they are the heartbeat of Indians' freedom struggle. When Tilak declared this slogan, people who had lost hope suddenly gained courage. He transformed fear into confidence. He transformed ordinary citizens into freedom fighters. Sometimes one sentence changes history. Following the partition of Bengal into East and West on October 16, 1905 by Viceroy Lord Curzon, separating the Hindu majority western areas from Muslim majority eastern areas in order to weaken the nationalist movement. In response to it, Tilak started the Swadeshi movement and boycott movement, which gained popularity and created the fear of revolution among Britishers. The movement consisted of boycott of foreign goods and also social boycott of Indian who used these foreign goods. The Swadeshi movement consisted of usage of natively produced goods. Once foreign goods were boycotted, there was a gap which had to be filled by the production of those goods in India itself. Tilak said that Swadeshi and boycott movements are two sides of the same coin. He was one of the most eminent radicals at the time. In fact, the Swadeshi movement of 1905 to 1907 divided the Congress into moderates and extremists. Tilak opposed the moderate views of Gopalakrishna Gokhale and was supported by fellow Indian nationalists Bipin Chandrapal in Bengal and Lala Lajpat Roy in Punjab. They were referred to as Lal Bhal Pal Trio. During his lifetime, among other political cases, Tilak had been charged for sedition charges 3 times by British India government in 1897, 1909 and 1916. In 1897, Tilak was charged with inciting disaffection of the government and sentenced to 18 months of prison for the views he had expressed in Kesari, his newspaper. In 1909, he was again charged with the sedition for his articles published in Kesari, followed by a trial in 1909. In 1916, when for the third time Tilak was charged for sedition over his lectures on self-rule. On 30 April 1908, two Bengali youths, Prafulla Chaki and Khudiram Bose, threw a bomb on a carriage at Muzaffarpur to kill the Chief Presidency Magistrate Douglas Kingsford at Calcutta fame, but erroneously killed two women traveling it. Chaki admitted suicide when caught and Bose was hanged. Tilak in his paper Kesari defended the revolutionaries and called for immediate Swaraj or self-rule. The government simply charged him with sedition for it. At conclusion of the trial, the judge Dinsha D. Davar gave him 6 years jail sentence to serve in Mandalay, Burma jail and a fine of rupees 1,000. Imagine thousands of kilometers away from his homeland, separated from his family, locked inside a prison cell. Did Tilak surrender? No, his chains could imprison his body, but never his thought nor his pen rested. That becomes memorable. Tilak began to further develop his ideas regarding the Swaraj and on Indian nationalist movements. When Tilak entered Mandalay jail, instead of immediately saying, he thought to create the long-lasting effect of Swaraj and wrote his one of the greatest works, Gita Rahasya. In his book, he explained that Bhagavad Gita teaches us not to run away from our duty but to perform it with dedication. This message remains timeless. Whenever life becomes difficult, remember great people do not wait for perfect circumstances, they create greatness even in difficult situations. Then many copies were sold and the money was contributed for the Indian freedom struggle. However, Tilak developed diabetes during his life sentence in Mandalay prison. The general ordeal of prison life had mellowed him at the release on 16 June 1914. Then Tilak again reunited with his fellow nationalists and rejoined the Indian National Congress during the Lucknow Pact 1916. Tilak and Gandhi differed in their methods. While Tilak believed that all legitimate means should be used to secure Swaraj, Gandhi firmly believed in satyagraha and non-violence. Despite these differences, Gandhi deeply admired Tilak's patriotism and leadership on the means to achieve self-rule. Then Tilak helped to found All India Home Rule League in 1916 to 1918 with J.S. Karpade and Annie Besant. After years of trying to reunite with the moderate and radical factions, he gave up and focused on the Home Rule League, which sought self-rule. Tilak traveled from village to village for support from farmers and locals to join the movement towards self-rule. The league had only 1400 members in April 1916, and by 1917 membership had grown approximately to 32,000. Tilak started his home rule league in Maharashtra, Central Province and Karnataka. Besant's league was active in the rest of the India, and Tilak was also known as the father of Indian unrest. At the age of 70s, as he constantly agitated for Swaraj and continued to work for Home League. Tilak addressing the gathering on the occasion of first anniversary of Home League in 1917 said, I am young in spirit, though old in body. I do not wish to lose this privilege of youth. To deny the growing capacity to my thinking power is to admit that I have no right to speak on this resolution. Whatever I am going to speak today is eternally young. The body might grow old, decrepit, and it might perish, but the soul is immortal. Similarly, if there might be an apparent lull in our home rule activities, the freedom of the spirit behind it is eternal and indestructible, and it will secure liberty for us. But not soon, the rose of India, Lion of India silenced. Due to constant traveling, Tilak's health deteriorated. On August 1, 1920, Lokamanya Tilak passed away fighting for Swaraj. Balagangadhar Tilak in his entire life, he was not merely a freedom fighter, but was also a social reformer. Tilak believed that political freedom should precede many social reforms. He differed with several contemporary reforms on issues such as the age of consent bill and the pace of certain social reforms. However, these debates should be understood in the context of the social and political circumstances in that time. Balgangar Tilak was a good writer. In 1903, Tilak wrote the book The Arctic Home in the Vedas. In it, he argued that Vedas could only have been composed in the Arctics. In the Orion, he tried to calculate the time of the Vedas by using position of different nakshatras. Tilak wrote Srimad Bhagavad Gita Rahasya in the prison at Mandalay, the analysis of Karma Yoga in Bhagavad Gita. There is a beautiful thought. The future of India is not written by destiny alone, it is written by the determination of its people. Tilak proved this through his life. At the time when many leaders were seeking constitutional reforms within the British Empire, Tilak boldly popularized the demand for Swaraj, the complete freedom, and inspired millions to think beyond limited political concessions. He introduced the term Swaraj in every individual, which ignited the fire of freedom. Tilak became one of the foremost leaders who popularized and expanded the Swadeshi movement after the partition of Bengal and became stepping stone to independence. His Swaraj, which highlighted Swabhasha and Swabhusha, that is the mother tongue and the indigenous customs. He never waited for the change, he became the change. His ideas of Swaraj was not limited to political freedom, but also freedom of culture and economy. Let me ask a question. Who is a patriot? Is it only the person who fights on the battlefield? Absolutely no. A student who studies honestly is a patriot. A teacher who inspires values is a patriot. A doctor who serves patients sincerely is a patriot. A farmer who feeds the nation is a patriot. A scientist who innovates is a patriot. Every citizen who performs their duty with honesty contributes to nation. That is exactly what Tilak believed. Dear friends, freedom was not gifted to us, it was earned through sacrifice. Whenever we enjoy our rights today, let us remember our responsibilities. Rights and duties go together. That is the true meaning of citizenship. This year, we are celebrating 80th Independence Day. At the outset, on behalf of everyone present here, I extend my advance wishes for the 80th Independence Day of our beloved nation. May this historic milestone inspire every Indian to uphold the ideals of freedom, struggle, and of the great warriors who fought for it. Let us work together to build a stronger, more prosperous, and developed India. Before I conclude, let us remember the immortal words of Lokamanya Tilak once again. Swaraj is my birthright and I shall have it. Today, let us give this slogan a new meaning. Swaraj is not only the political freedom, it is freedom from ignorance, freedom from corruption, freedom from hatred, freedom from laziness, freedom from negativity. If we achieve these freedoms, India will become stronger than ever before. Then we contribute to achieve the goal of Vikasita Bharat at 2047. At last, on this special occasion, let us pledge to think fearlessly, to work honestly, to live responsibly, to work selflessly, and to contribute to the progress of our beloved nation. That will be the greatest tribute we can offer to Lokamanya Balagangadhar Tilak. With these words, I thank you all for your kind attention. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, Satvik, for that insightful and inspiring speech on Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Your words beautifully highlighted his contribution to India's freedom struggle and his role in inspiring national consciousness. We truly appreciate your efforts, and once again, thank you, Satvik. Let us now move towards an important session scheduled this evening. We are pleased to announce the evening lecture series, which will be held at Mythic Society at 7 p.m. The topic for the session is the New World Order Strategic Position of Bharat in Global Leadership. We are honored to have with us Dr. Ram Madhav, an author, a thinker, and the president of India Foundation, New Delhi, who will be addressing us on this important and contemporary subject. With the world undergoing significant geopolitical, economical, and technological shift, the question of Bharat's place and strategic role in the emerging global orders become increasingly important. We invite you to this insightful session at 7 p.m. today. Let us also take a quick look at what awaits us tomorrow morning. We have two important topics lined up. The first one is Adhyatma, the civilization soul of Bharat. The session will explore the idea of Adhyatma not merely as personal spiritual practice, but as a deeper civilizational principle that has shaped Bharat's way of understanding life, knowledge, and human existence. The second topic is artificial intelligence and evolving role of teachers. What does the role of teacher look like in the age where information is increasingly available at our fingertips? The topic sees that. Now, we also have thought provoking sessions ahead of us. We cordially invite you, everyone, to be a part of these sessions and continue this journey of learning, reflection, and inspiration. As we come to an end of today's My Bharat Student Talk, let us take time to express our heartfelt gratitude. Our sincere thanks to our speakers for their inspiring speeches, to our mentors and volunteers for their constant guidance, and to our technical team for ensuring a smooth live stream. A special thanks to all our viewers for your engagement and support. Let us continue to learn, serve, and contribute towards building a stronger Bharat. To conclude the session on a positive note, join hands for a shloka. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all for being a part of today's program. Thank you. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.